Hi, welcome once more to Mr. Max. In this lesson, we are going to revise from September 2020 Eastern Cape Province Trigonometry section. September 2020 Eastern Cape Province Trigonometry section, that is question number 5, 6 and 7. Okay, question number 5, 6, 7 Trigonometry, September 2020 Eastern Cape. Okay, so let's start. Question number 5, 5.1. What is that question? 5.1. If cos 22 is equal to P, determine the following in terms of P. So it is given that cos of 22 is equal to P. And you have to find the answers of the remaining questions in terms of P. That means in your answer, the P must be there. Okay. So what is the first question? 5.1.1. Question number 5.1.1. What is that question? Cos of 158. You have to find cos of 158 in terms of P. That is very important. Okay. So 158 is in which quadrant? 100. This is 180. 158 means second quadrant. Am I right? In this quadrant. Second quadrant. Okay, so second quadrant, how can you write? 180 minus theta. Am I right? Okay, so here this cos of 158, I'm going to write it like this: cos of 180 minus which number is 158? Check in your calculator. 180 minus which number is 158. So what you have to do is you just subtract this 180 minus 158. You will get the answer. What is 180 minus 158 in your calculator? 22. So it means that 180 minus 22 is 158. Okay, so they will set the questions like that. Okay, so here you can see that you got 22, and here you can see in the given one cos 22. Okay, so standard questions, they will set the questions like that. Okay, so now 180 minus 22. 180 minus 22 is in which quadrant? 180, reduction formula. 180 minus means second quadrant. Second quadrant, what is positive? Sine is positive. Here what? Cos. So it is minus. Am I right? Okay, listen once more. 180 minus 22 is in which quadrant? Second quadrant. Second quadrant, what is positive? Sine is positive. You already said second quadrant, sine is positive. Here what is positive? Tan is positive. Here what is positive? Cos is positive. Here all positive. Am I right? Okay, so second quadrant, sine is positive. Here what? Cos. So it is negative. Then if it is based on 180 or 360 horizontal line, no change in the trigonometry. That is, here it is cos, so here also it is cos, then 22. So minus cos 22. What is cos 22? It is given in the question that cos 22 is equal to P. So it is minus cos 22. That means minus P. So you can see that you got the answer of cos 158 in terms of P. What is the answer? Minus P. Okay, so that is question number 5.1.1. Now next question, 5.1.2. What is that question? Sine 112. Next one is sine 112. Sine 112. So 112. There also, how can you write this 112? We know only 22. Am I right? So somehow we have to write like this, plus 22 or minus 22 or something like that. Okay, so this 112, is it possible? First I am thinking like that one. Okay, is it possible to write in terms of 22? Yeah, I know that 90 plus 22 is 112. So this sine 112, we can write it like this: sine of 90 plus 22. You understand? 90 plus 22 is 112. So now tell me, what is this one? 90 plus, which quadrant is that? This is 90, am I right? This one is 90. So 90 plus means that is also in the second quadrant. This is 90 plus, here it is 90 minus. Okay, so 90 plus means it's on the second quadrant. Second quadrant, what is positive? Sign is positive. Here what? Sign. So it is positive. Am I right? Okay, listen once more. 90 plus 22 is in which quadrant? Second quadrant. Second quadrant, what is positive? Sign is positive. Here what? Sign. So it is positive. Then if it is based on 90 or 270, you have to change to its cofunction. Am I right? This is what you studied in reduction formula in grade 11. Okay, so if it is based on 90 or 270 vertical line, you have to change to its cofunction. So what is a cofunction of sine? That is cos. So it is plus cos, then the angle 22. Okay, so what is cos 22? That is given. Cos 22 is P. So it means that the answer is P. Okay, so cos 22 and sine 112, same answer. The answer is P. Okay, so listen once more. 112, we wrote it as 90 plus 22. 90 plus 22 is in the second quadrant. Second quadrant, sine is positive. Here also sine, so it is positive. But if it is based on 90 or 270, you know that you have to write the cofunction. What is the cofunction of sine? Cos. Cos of that angle. Okay, and what is cos 22? It is given that is P. So that is 5.1.2. Now let's move to the next question, 5.1.3. Question number 5.1.3. What is that question? Sine of 38. Sine of 38. Wow. Here you have to write sine of 38. So here also what I'm thinking, how can I write this one in terms of 22 or something like that? Okay, so sine of 38 and what we know, cos 22. What is this 38 plus 22? 38 plus 22, check in your calculator, 40, 60. Am I right? 38 plus 22 is 60. And that 60 is a special angle. You know, the 60 is a special angle. Okay, so somehow there is a connection I'm getting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this sine 38, I'm just trying. Okay, is it possible to find it like that? Okay, so sine 38, let me check it like this. Sine 38, that is it not 60 minus 22? What is 60 minus 22? That is 38. Am I right? So, and this 60 is a special angle. Okay, and we know this 22 in terms of 22. Okay, so this sine 38, I wrote it as sine 60 minus 22. Okay, so let me write the answer of the remaining here. Sine 60 minus 22. Sine of 60 minus 22. You know, in you wrote a formula, you studied a formula like this. Sine of A minus B. What is the expansion? Sine A cos B minus cos A sin B. You studied an expansion like this. Am I right? Okay, so is it not like that? Sine of 60 minus 22, if I call this 60 as A and this 22 as B, so what is that one? Sine of A minus B. It is like this. Am I right? So I can expand like this. Sine A cos B minus cos A sin B. So here I am going to expand like that. So sine A cos B, that is sine A, my A is 60. Okay, cos B is 22 minus cos A sin B. So it is cos A. What is A? 60. So it is cos 60 sin B. What is sin B? 22. Okay, now substitute the values. Sin 60, that is a special angle. What is sin 60? Root 3 by 2. So it is root 3 by 2 into cos 22. Cos 22, you know that it is given that cos 22 is P. So this cos 22 we can write it as P minus cos 60. What is cos 60? 1 over 2. Am I right? So it is minus 1 over 2 times sine 22. What is sine 22? Wow. Sine 22, we don't know what is sine 22. So we have to find that sine 22. Am I right? Okay. So let's see how can we find that sine 22. Different methods you can apply to find sine 22. Anyway, one method is this one. Okay, we know that cos 22 is P. Okay, we are trying to find this sine 22, then we have to write it here. That is our aim. Okay, so what is the, can you say what is the answer of this one? Sine square 22 plus cos square 22. What is the answer? Sine, you know, in grade 10 you studied a identity like this, sine square theta plus cos square theta. What is the answer? It's a 1. So instead of theta here it is 22. Okay, so sine square 22 plus cos square 22 is 1. Okay, so from there what is sine square 22? You have to take this cos square 22 to the other side, that is 1 minus cos square 22. Okay, so from there what is sine 22? Sine square 22 is this one. So what is sine 22? Square root of that one. Am I right? Okay, so this is square root of 1 minus cos square 22. Okay, so sine 22 is equal to square root of 1 minus cos square 22. Cos 22 is P. So what about cos square 22? That is P square. So look at this one, sine 22 is root of 1 minus P square. Okay, so here what is here? Sine 22. Instead of that one we can write it as root of 1 minus P square. Is it not the answer is in terms of P? Root 3 by 2 P minus 1 over 2 root of 1 minus P square. So now the answer is, either we can leave it like this, or if you want to write, you can write one more step. Here 2 is an LCM. Right, 2 is a LCD. Then both sides, both terms. Okay, so what is remaining? Root 3 P minus, then here it is 1 times this one, that is root of 1 minus P square. Okay, so anyway, either we can leave it like this or we can simplify further. Okay, okay, so that is answer is in terms of P. You know, in this answer we can see that everything is in terms of P. Okay, so that is question number 5.1.3. now let's move to question number 5.2. okay, okay, now let's move to the next question number 5.2. Question number 5.2. What is that question? Determine all the values of P in the interval 0 to 360. So you have to find all the values of P in the interval 0 to 360. This is the domain. Okay, 0 to 360. You have to find all the values of P. Okay, which satisfies the equation sin P is equal to sin P is equal to sin 2P, which satisfies the equation sin P is equal to sin 2P. So listen once more. What is the question? You have to find all the values of P in the interval 0 to 360. Okay, which satisfies this equation. Okay, so now let's start. I'm going to take the sin 2P to this side. Okay, so it is sin P minus sin 2P is equal to 0. Am I right? So here it's positive, so on this side it is negative. This is a double angle, sin 2P. So how can you expand that one? You have to know that double angle formula. Okay, so sin 2P we can expand 2 sin B cos P. Am I right? Okay, so this one is sin P minus, I'm going to expand this sin 2P, double angle, 2 into sin P cos P is equal to 0. Okay, so now take sine b as common factor. So what is that one? Sine b I'm going to take as common factor. So remaining on the first term, nothing. So it is 1. Then minus, I took this sine b as common factor. So what is remaining? 2 cos b. So 2 cos b is equal to 0. So here you can see that 2 quantity, what is the meaning of this bracket? Multiplication. Okay, so 2 quantities multiplied and the answer is 0. So what is the meaning of that? Either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. Okay, so if the first one is 0, what is the meaning of that? Sine b is equal to 0, or what? This 1 minus 2 cos b is equal to 0. Listen once more. 2 quantities multiplied and the answer is 0. It means that either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. So if sine b is equal to 0, what are the values of p? Sine b is equal to 0, what are the values of p? P is equal to, sine 0 is 0. So p is equal to 0. Then another 180. That means sine 180. Check in your calculator, what is sine 180? Sine 180 is also 0. That means p can be 180 also. Okay, look at the domain 0 to 360. Okay, so I'm going to add another 180. That means 180 plus 180, 360. Okay, so check what is sine 360 in your calculator. Sine 360 is also 0. In your calculator you can check. Okay, so it means that p can be 360 also. Okay, so sine b is equal to 0 means that either p can be 0, sine 0 is 0, or p can be 180, sine 180 is 0, or p can be 360, sine 360 is equal to 0. We don't want to take any other values because here the maximum value is 360. Okay, so we want to just take up to there. Okay, now what about this one? So if I take this 2 minus 2 cos b to the other side, okay, what is that one? 1 is equal to, here it is minus, so the other side it is plus 2 cos 2 times cos b. So from here, what is cos b? Multiplication. So if I take these 2 to this side, it is division. So it is 1 divided, here it is multiplication. So if I want to take these 2 to this side, it is division. That means 1 divided by 2 is equal to cos b, or let me write it in opposite way, cos b is equal to half. So now listen here, cos b is equal to half. So what is p? What is the value of p? P is equal to, that's a special angle also, cos of 60. What is cos 60? That's a special angle. Cos 60 is half. So it means that p is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, now at the same time, cos p, now listen here, cos p is equal to, what is answer? Half. Half means, what is the symbol here? Plus. Am I right? So it means that cos is positive. Cos is positive in which quadrants? First quadrant and fourth quadrant. Am I right? Cos is positive in the first and fourth. First quadrant we already got the answer, 60 acute angle. So what about the fourth quadrant? Fourth quadrant, 360 minus the acute angle. So P is equal to, also P is equal to 360 minus acute angle, that is 60. That means P is equal to 360 minus 60 is 300. So another P value is 300. There is another value 60. So what are the values of P? How many values we got? So it implies that values of P are 0. Let me write it in order. Then 60. Then what is the next smallest? 180. Next one 300. Next one 360. So the values of possible values of P between this interval is 0, 60, 180, 300 and 360. Okay, so that is question number 5.2. now let's go to the next question, 5.3. okay, now let's move to the next question, question number 5.3. question number 5.3. what is that question? In triangle ABC, if triangle ABC is a scalene triangle, what is the meaning of scalene triangle? All the angles are, or I mean, sorry, all the sides are different, okay, different length. So if a triangle ABC is a scalene triangle, show that cos of A plus B is equal to minus cos C. So you have to show that cos of A plus B is equal to minus cos C. This is what you want to show, okay. Cos of A plus B is equal to minus cos C. So now how can we start that one? Let's say it's like a theorem, okay. Now, scalene triangle or isosceles triangle or equilateral triangle, anyway, what is the sum of the angles in a triangle? Always 180, am I right? Okay, so I'm going to write that one. Here the angles are A, B and C. So I know that angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Am I right? Okay, so from here, what is A plus B? If I want to know A plus B, so I have to take the C to the other side. Am I right? So it is 180 minus C. Okay, so now A plus B is equal to 180 minus C. So I am going to apply trigonometry, same trigonometry on both sides, left side and right side. So I am going to apply cos. We want cos. Okay, so I am going to apply cos on both sides. Look at how I am going to write. Cos of A plus B is equal to cos of 180 minus C. Same trigonometry. We already said that A plus B is equal to 180 minus C. Okay, so I'm going to apply same trigonometry on both of that angle. That means cos of A plus B is equal to cos of 180 minus C. Okay, so that is cos of A plus B is equal to 180 minus means which quadrant? 180 minus, this is 180. So 180 minus means second quadrant. Second quadrant sign is positive. Here what? Cos. So it is minus. Then no change. If it is based on 180 or 360, no change. That means minus cos C. And that is what we want to prove. Cos of A plus B is minus cos C. So that is question number 5.3. Now let's move to question number 5.4. Okay, now let's move to the next question, question number 5.4. Question number 5.4. What is the question there? Cos squared x minus cos x minus sin squared x. Prove that. That means we have to prove that left side is equal to right side. Look at the question. Okay. So I'm going to write the left side here. Okay, left hand side. What is the left hand side? Cos squared x minus cos x minus sin square x, the whole divided by 2 sin x into cos x plus sin x. So this is the left side, and you have to prove that that left side is equal to, okay, you have to prove that that left side is equal to, what is the right side? You want to prove that that one is 1 over tan x minus 1 over sin x. So you have to prove this left side is equal to this right side. That is the question. Okay. Okay. So here, how can you prove that one? Cos squared x minus cos x minus sin square x divided by 2 sin x cos x. So here they got two terms here. Okay. And here the denominator is tan x and here it is sin x. Okay, so there is no cos square or sin square term there in this one. Okay, so it means that somehow they cancel this cos squared and sin square. Okay, let's see anyway what is going to happen. Okay, so if I want to get if I want to cancel this cos squared x, here I am supposed to get a minus cos squared x, then only I can cancel positive cos squared and minus cos squared. Okay, so here before I start writing the steps, I am planning something, what must I do, okay, so that I will get this answer. Okay, so these are the things it is coming in my mind. Okay, anyway I want to prove that this one is equal to this one. Okay, so I'm thinking what are the different possibilities. So here look at this one, 2 sin x cos x. I know that that is an identity, sin 2x. Okay, now I'm thinking like that. Okay, but anyway let's see what is happening. So here you can see that there is no sin squared or cos squared term here, so somehow they cancel this one. Okay, so if I want to cancel this cos squared x, here I want to get a minus cos squared x. Am I right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I got a small idea now. Okay, let's see what is it correct or wrong now. Okay, so this one is equal to cos square x minus cos x. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. Then this minus is this one. Okay, then what is this sin squared x? You know, sin square x, some identity you have to know that. Okay, sin squared x, you can write it as 1 minus cos squared x. Am I right? Sin squared x is 1 minus cos squared x. So here but still there is a problem for this minus. Okay, anyway let's see. So minus 1 minus cos square x. So the whole divided by, I can't cancel that one now. Okay, instead of writing these two sign here, I can see there I can see it takes some common factors here. Maybe I will get something to cancel. So if I write simply, you know that these 2 sin x cos x, that is a double angle expansion, sin 2x. Okay, but if I write sin 2x here, there is no other way I will get cos 2x or sin 2x, anything like that. Okay, and here they want the answer in terms of x, so there is no use if I write it in terms of sin 2x, because I want in terms of x, so I'm not going to write that one now. So instead of writing the sin 2x, look at this one, sin x is a common factor here, so I'm going to take that sin x here, sin x as a common factor. So what is remaining here, 2 cos x, here this 2, this cos, plus sin x I already took as common factor, so it means the remaining is 1. Okay, now next step, let's see. Now I don't have any idea. Okay, now let's see what is happening here. Minus into 1 is minus 1, minus into plus is positive. Okay, so now let's write the next step, that is cos squared x minus cos x. I expand this one, minus 1, then plus cos squared x, minus into minus is plus cos squared x. Okay, so now I'm getting an idea now. This one we can write it is like a quadratic. Those who practice this type of questions, now you have an idea. Okay, this one is like a quadratic equation I can write, then factorize that one. Okay, so almost there an idea. Okay, anyway let's see what is happening. Sin x into 2 cos x plus 1. So when I factorize this one, maybe one term is this 2 cos x plus 1. Anyway let's see. Okay, now cos squared x plus cos squared x is 2 cos squared x, then minus cos x, then minus 1, the whole divided by sin x into 2 cos x plus 1. So look at the numerator, is it not like a quadratic equation, that one, 2 cos square x minus cos x minus 1. So if I write that cos x as m, okay, so I'm just writing this one here, I will continue here, but this cos x, let m is equal to cos x, I call m as cos x. So what is that one? 2 cos square x. Cos x is m. So m square. Am I right? So 2m square, then cos x is m. I call cos x as m. So 2m square minus m, then minus 1. So how can you factorize this one? So it is 2m, then m. You have to know the factorization, but here you can see that this is 2m plus 1. So probably that is you have to cancel that one. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to write plus 1 here, and here I want the product minus 1. So let's see, is it correct or wrong? 1 times minus 1 is minus 1, that is fine. Then 1 plus 1 into m is m, then 2m into minus 1 is minus 2m, m minus 2m is minus m, so it is fine. Okay, so it means that 2m plus 1 into m minus 1, that is a factor. And what is our m? We call m as cos x, or cos x as m. So it means that 2 cos x plus 1 into cos x minus 1, we can write it like that. Okay, so our m is cos x, so here actually it is 2 cos x plus 1 into m minus 1, that is cos x minus 1. Okay, so here this one we can factorize, we can write it this one. So 2 cos x plus 1 into cos x minus 1, I factorize that one. The whole divided by sin x into 2 cos x plus 1. Can you say what is the next step? Yeah, here we can see that these 2 cos x plus 1 and these 2 cos x plus 1 we can cancel. So what is remaining? Remaining is cos x minus 1 divided by this sin x. Okay, so now those who didn't write this one, you have to pause the video and write. Okay, so now I'm going to continue. I'm going to erase this one and write the remaining things here. Okay, so in small in small classes you studied something like this, a minus b by 2. How can you split this one? You can write it like this, a by 2 minus b over 2. Am I right? Similarly, I'm going to split this one like this, a by 2 minus b by 2, cos x by sin x minus 1 by sin x, like that. Okay, so look at the remaining one. I'm going to write it here, that is cos x divided by sin x minus 1 divided by sin x. What is this cos x by sin x? You know cos x by sin, you know sin x by cos x, that is tan x. Okay, so cos x by sin x, maybe some schools you already studied. Cos x by sin x is the same as 1 over tan x, then minus 1 over sin x. Actually that is what we want to prove, 1 by tan x minus 1 by sin x. Okay, but those who didn't understand this one, cos x by sin x. Okay, so let me write something here. You know that sin x by cos x is tan x. Okay, so tan x means divided tan x by 1. Okay, so sin x by cos x is tan x by 1. So what about cos x by sin x? Here we did the reciprocal. Am I right? Okay, so here on this side also we have to do the reciprocal, that means 1 by tan x. Okay, so that is why cos x by sin x you can write it as 1 by tan x. Listen once more, sin x by cos x is tan x. So tan x is the same as tan x divided by 1. What is tan x by 1? This is tan x. I didn't make any difference. Okay, so sin x by cos x is tan x by 1. So what about cos x by sin x? So here also 1 divided by tan x. That is why cos x by sin x I wrote it as 1 by tan x. Okay, then minus 1 by sin x, and that is what we want to prove. 1 by tan x minus 1 by sin x. So that is the RHS. Okay, so that is question number 5.4. Now let's move to the next question, question number 5.5. okay, now let's go to the next question, question number 5.5. Question number 5.5. What is that question? Determine the general solution of 4 plus 7 cos theta plus cos 2 theta is equal to 0. So the question is, you have to find the general solution of 4 plus 7 cos theta plus cos 2 theta is equal to 0. So now normally this type of questions, just like what we did in the previous question, we have to convert that into a quadratic equation. Okay, so how can we convert this one into a quadratic? Here look at this one, 7 cos theta. So here we have to get a cos square theta, cos double, this is a double angle, cos 2 theta. Okay, so for cos 2 theta, there are three functions, three identities, cos 2 theta. What are the expansions? Cos square theta minus sin square theta. Second one is 2 cos square theta minus 1, and the third one is 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Okay, so in these three expressions, if I take this one, then I will get an extra sin square theta, but I don't want that sin theta. I want to try to convert this into a cos function, cos quadratic equation. Okay, so for that, which must I take? This second equation I must take 2 cos square theta minus 1 for this cos 2 theta. Okay, so here instead of this cos 2 theta, I'm going to write this identity, 2 cos square theta minus 1. Okay, so let's write that one is 4 plus 7 cos theta. Instead of this cos 2 theta, I am going to write this one. So it is plus 2 cos square theta minus 1 is equal to 0. Now write it in an order. Let's write this one first. So it is 2 cos square theta, then this cos theta, plus 7 cos theta. What is 4 minus 1? That is 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so is it not like a quadratic equation now in terms of cos? 2 cos square theta plus 7 cos theta plus a constant number. So it means that it's like a quadratic equation. So what I'm going to do is to make my work easy, let m is equal to cos theta, just like what we did in the previous question. I call cos theta as m. Okay, so now how can we write that equation? 2 cos square. So what is cos theta? We call it as m. That means 2 cos square means, it implies that 2m square, cos square theta, that is m square. Okay, plus 7 cos theta. What is our cos theta? M. So it is 7m plus 3 is equal to 0. Now we have to factorize this one. So for factorization, guys, here I'm not going to explain much on that one. I will explain briefly. Those who doesn't know factorization now, you have to watch that algebra section. Okay, that's very important. So how can you factorize? Simply you just draw a cross mark like this. Okay, what is the coefficient of m square? 2. You multiply this 2 with this 3. What is 2 times 3? It is 6. Write that 6 here. This 2 times this 3, 6 there. What is the sum? 7. So you have to find two numbers. The product is 6 and the sum is 7. What are the two numbers? Is it not 6 and 1? 6 and 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, now what you have to do is, what is the coefficient of m square? It is 2. Okay, so you divide both of these numbers with that 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. Okay, so what is the answer here? 6 by 2 is 3, and this is 1 over 2. Just leave it like that. Okay, now look at how I am going to write this answer. These 2 I'm going to write like this, 2m. Okay, here it is positive 1, so it is plus 1. Okay, then this one is 3, so I must write it exactly like that, plus 3. So the fact is 2m plus 1 into m plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so those who doesn't understand this one, you have to watch that algebra section. There I explain clearly, okay, in detail. So here look at this one. Is it correct? 2m into m is 2m square. 1 into 3 is 3. Then 1 into m is m. Then 2m into 3 is 2 into 3 6 plus 6m. That means m plus 6m is 7m. So it's fine. Okay. Okay. So it is 2m plus 1 and m plus 3 is equal to 0. So actually what is this m? We call m as cos theta. That means this is cos theta. Okay, so now it implies that is 2. Now I am going to substitute back. So 2 cos theta plus 1 m plus 3, that is cos theta plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, I substituted the value of m as cos theta. I substitute back. Here we call cos theta as m. So now we are going to substitute back just to factorize this one. That's why I call it as m. Okay, so if remaining. Now what about here? Here we can see that two quantities are multiplied. Two quantities are multiplied and the answer is 0. It means that either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. Okay, so what about the first one 0? It means that 2 cos theta plus 1 is equal to 0, or the second one is 0, that is cos theta plus 3 is equal to 0. So from here, what is 2 cos theta? 2 cos theta is equal to, take this 1 to the other side, so it is minus 1. So from here, what is cos theta? Cos theta is equal to, divide both sides with the 2. So these 2 cancel, remaining is minus 1 over 2. Okay, what about here? Cos theta, take this 3 to the other side, so it is minus 3. But here there is a problem. For cos theta, the maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is minus 1. If you draw a cosine graph, okay, if you draw a cosine graph, the maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is minus 1. For sine and cos, minimum value minus 1 and the maximum value 1. So here look at this one. Cos is minus 3. Minus 3 is, it's not possible, because for a cos graph, minimum value is supposed to be minus 1, but minus 3 is much bigger than that one, or lower than that one. So it implies that no solution here. For this cos theta is equal to minus 3, there is no solution, because the minimum value is minus 3. Here it is, minus 1, and here it is minus 3. So it means that there is no solution. So now we only have this one. We have to think only about this one. Cos theta is equal to minus half. What is our question? To find the general solution. Okay, so I'm going to erase this one now. So those who didn't write, you have to pause the video, write it, then watch remaining. Okay, so now our equation is cos theta is equal to minus half. I'm going to write it like right here. Okay. Okay, so cos theta is equal to minus half. Okay, so now what is our question? Don't forget our question. We have to find the general solution. Is it not so? Okay, so first what we have to do? We have to find the reference angle. Okay, so what is the reference angle here? Reference angle is equal to cos inverse of, here when you find the reference angle, don't take this minus. Okay, you just take the absolute value, that is cos inverse of positive half. So check in your calculator what is cos inverse of half, that is 60, is not so? So the reference angle is 60 degrees. Now look at this one. Cos of an angle is negative. Cos is negative in which quadrants? Cos is negative in second quadrant and third quadrant. Am I right? Here cos is positive, here cos is positive. Okay. So cos is positive, negative in the second and third quadrant. So we have to find that one separately. Second quadrant, how can you find? Here the angle is theta, so theta is equal to 180 minus second quadrant, here it is 180 minus reference angle. What is the reference angle? That is 60. Okay, plus, sorry, it is not 180, it is 360. So it is plus k 360. So theta is equal to 180 minus 60 is 120 plus k 360. So that is on the second quadrant. So cos is negative in the second and third quadrant. So now we have to write about the third quadrant. Okay, so what about the third quadrant? Theta is equal to third quadrant. How can you write? 180 plus theta, am I right? So it is 180 plus, what is the reference angle? 60 plus k 360 degree. So what is 180 plus 60? 240 degrees. Okay, so that is theta is equal to 240 plus k 360. So the reference, so the general solutions are theta is equal to 120 plus k 360 and theta is equal to 240 plus k 360. So that is question number 5.5. Now we have to go to next question, question number 6. Okay, question number 6. In the diagram below, the graph of f of x is equal to tan bx. So there is this is question number 6. Okay, so f of x is equal to tan bx and g of x is equal to, there are two functions, f of x and g of x. And what is g of x? Cos of x minus 30. Okay, and the diagram also given, there is a diagram given. So first let me draw that diagram, then after that from I will explain the remaining things. Okay, okay, so I tried to draw a rough graph of that f of x and g of x. Okay, so you have to look at your question paper also. Okay, now what is the first question? 6.1, determine the value of b. You have to find the value of this b. Okay, so actually what is that b, or b determines what in a trigonometric function? That b determines what? B determines the period of the graph. Am I right? Okay, so for example, if y is equal to tan 2x, what is the period? Period is equal to 180 divided by coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is 2, that is 180 divided by 2 is 90 degrees. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Okay, so anyway, this number determines the period of the graph. And what is the formula to find the period in the case of tan 180 divided by that number? Okay, so here b determines the period of the graph. Okay, so at the same time, from the graph, this is the tan graph, this blue one, f of x. Okay, from the graph you can see that this graph is going down here and this graph is going up like this. That means here the asymptote is minus 180. Okay, this graph, this blue graph is going passing next to the asymptote. Okay, and here the asymptote is positive 180. Okay, so now try to understand like this. In the case of a tan graph, from the graph you can find the asymptotes like this. That is the distance between the two asymptotes. Okay, so here it is 180, here it is passing through minus 180. This asymptote is minus 180 and this asymptote is 180. So what is the gap, or what is the distance between two asymptotes? 180 plus 180, that is 360 degrees. That means for this f of x graph, this tan graph, this blue graph, okay, the asymptote is, the period is 360. Okay, listen here. How can you find the period of a tan graph from the graph? You have to check where are the asymptotes. So this is one asymptote minus 180 and this is the other asymptote positive 180. And for a tan graph, period is the distance between two asymptotes. That means minus 180 to 180. That means what is the total distance? 360. So in our case, the period of the graph is, in our case, the period of tan graph, period of f of x, that is a tan graph. From the graph we know that it is 360. Am I right? Okay, now formula wise, how can you find the period for a tan graph? What is the formula to find the period? 180 divided by coefficient of x. So it means that using the formula to find the period is 180 divided by coefficient of x, and from the graph we know that the answer is 360 degrees. You understand? Okay, so here what is coefficient of x in f of x? That is b. Okay, so 180 divided by b is equal to 360 degree. So this is the formula to find the period of a tan graph, 180 divided by coefficient of x. How do you get this 360? We know from the graph, this tan graph f of x, the period is between two asymptotes, that is minus 180, 180. That means between two asymptotes 360 degrees. So from the graph we know that the period is 360. So it means 180 divided by coefficient of x is 360. What is the coefficient of x? That is this b. So 180 divided by b is 360. So from there, what is b? You have to take this b to that side and this 360 back to this one. That's a easy math. Now we are in grade 12. You have to understand that. Okay. So this 180 divided by, I'm going to take this 360 to the denominators, 360, and take this b to the numerator, that is b. That's a simple method to find b. So 180 divided by 360 is 1 over 2. Check in your calculator. Okay, 1 over 2 is equal to b, or the value of b is 1 over 2. Okay, so now you can see that 180 divided by 1 over 2. Check in your calculator, what is answer? You will get 360. So it means that the value of b is 1 over 2. Okay, so that is question number 6.1. Now let's go to 6.2. Okay, now let's go to the next question, 6.2. What is question number 6.2? Write down the coordinates of A, the turning point of G. Okay, the black one, this is our G of x graph, and here this is the point A, and now they are asking you to find the coordinates of this point A. Okay, so at this point A, what is the y value? Look at your graph. You can see that the y value is 1. So directly we know that the y value at the point A is 1. Okay, so we just want to find the x value. Okay, so what is the equation of that? This black one is g of x graph. Okay, so what is the equation of g of x? Cos of x minus 30. So g of x, that is the same as y. Y is equal to cos of x minus 30. So at this point A, what is the y value? It is 1. So we can substitute 1 is equal to cos of x minus 30. Okay, or cos of let me write it vice versa. Okay, cos of x minus 30 is equal to 1. So how can I find x minus 30 from there? Cos of an angle is 1. So how can I find that angle? I have to take the inverse function. That means cos inverse of 1. Check in your calculator, what is cos inverse of 1? Cos 0 is 1. Am I right? Cos 0 is 1. So cos inverse of 1 is 0, or you can check in your calculator. Okay. So x minus 30 is equal to 0. So what is the value of x? X is equal to 30. So it means that at this point A, the x value is 30 and the y value is 1. So it implies that A is 30 comma 1. Okay. So that is question number 6.2. Now let's move to question number 6.3. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Question number 6.3. What is that one? 6.3. If PQ is parallel to the y-axis, so there is a line PQ here, okay, and they are saying that this line PQ is parallel to the y-axis, okay. So if it is parallel to the y-axis, at this P, what is the x value? 90. Am I right? At P, the x value is 90. So what about at Q? At Q also the x value is going to be 90. Okay, so let me erase all of that g of x and f of x from there. Okay, so at P and Q, what is the x value? It is 90. So it means that P x value is 90, and what is the y value? Oh, okay, it is given there. P is x value is 90 and y value is 1. So since this line PQ is parallel to y-axis, here the x value of Q is also 90. Am I right? Because this peak, it is given that this line PQ is parallel to the y-axis. So it means that this x value of 90 for P, 90. Okay, so it's the same as x value for Q, that is also 90, because these two lines are parallel, or this one is a perpendicular line. Okay, now we have to find the y value. So how can we find the y value? This point Q is a point on this g of x graph, in this g of x graph. Okay, so g of x, that is y, is equal to cos of x minus 30. Okay, so at this point Q, what is the x value? 90. Okay, so we can substitute at that point Q, the x value is 90. So what is the y value? Y is equal to cos of 90 minus 30. So y is equal to 90 minus 30 is 60. So cos 60. What is cos 60? Half. That means at this point Q, the y value is half. So it means that therefore coordinates of Q is 90 comma half. Okay, that is question number 6.3. now let's move to question number 6.4. Okay, now let's go to the next question, 6.4. Question number 6.4. What is that question? Write down the equation of the asymptotes of y is equal to tan b into x plus 20 for x is an element of minus 180 to 180. So y is equal to, let me write that equation, y is equal to tan b x plus 20. Okay, so what is that question? Read that question once more. Write down the equation of the asymptotes of this equation. Equation of the asymptotes of that equation. Okay, so leave that question. Tell me, this is tan b x plus 20. Look at this f of x, tan bx. Okay, so when it is f of x is equal to tan bx, okay, we know that b is half, we already proved that one. Okay, just leave that one. F of x is equal to tan bx. In this graph, what are the asymptotes? What are the equations of the asymptote? X is equal to, this is one, this is a f of x is equal to tan bx. Am I right? That blue graph. Okay, so in that blue graph, what are the asymptotes? X is equal to, asymptotes equation, x is equal to minus 180 and x is equal to positive 180 in the case of tan bx. So in this blue graph, this is tan bx graph. Okay, in this graph, what are the equations of the asymptote? X is equal to minus 180 and x is equal to positive 180. Okay, now look at our graph, this question, y is equal to tan b, up to there it is fine, but instead of this x, it is x plus 20. What is the meaning of this x plus 20? It means that the entire f of x graph, that tan graph is shifted 20 degrees to the left side, not to the right, okay, to the left side. So the entire graph is shifted 20 degrees to the left means even the asymptotes also shifted 20 degrees to the left. Am I right? Okay, so this asymptote minus 180, so if it moves to 20 degrees to the left, now the new asymptote is passing through where? Plus 20 means everything shifted 20 degrees to the left. That means the new asymptote is going to pass through minus 200. Am I right? Minus 180 minus 20, that is minus 200. And this asymptote 20 degrees to the left, that means it is going to pass through 100 and 180 minus 20, that is 160. You understand? So the new asymptotes are x is equal to 200, I mean minus 200 and x is equal to 160. How do you get this minus 200? When it is shifted 20 degrees to the left, the whole graph, even the asymptote also shifting 20 degrees to the left. In this graph, asymptote is minus 180. So 20 degrees to the left means minus 200. Here, what is asymptote? 180. 20 degrees to the left means 180 minus 20, that is 160. So the new graph tan b x plus 20, the equations of the asymptotes are x is equal to minus 200 and x is equal to 160. But here there is a problem. What is that one? Here, let me erase this one. Here, even though in the new graph, the new asymptotes are x is equal to minus 200 and x is equal to 160. Look at that question. There is a domain given. X is an element of minus 180 to 180. So it means that this minus 200 is not in this minus 180 to 180, not in that limit. You understand? So we don't want to write this one because that is out of our limit. Okay, so now what is the equation of the new asymptote? Only one asymptote. If it is shifted to the left, then it is having only one asymptote. What is the meaning? What is that asymptote? X is equal to 160. That means this 180 asymptote shifted to 20 degrees to the left. That means this asymptote passing through 160. That's the only asymptote, because the other asymptote, it's out of our border. Our border is minus 180 and this minus 180 asymptote shifted to minus 200, but we don't want to consider that one because this is our border. 180 is our border, minus 180. Okay, so what is the equation of the new asymptote? X is equal to 160. Okay, so that is question number 6.4. now we have to go to the next question, 6.5. Okay, now let's go to the next question, 6.5. Question number 6.5. What is that question? Determine the range of h if h of x is equal to 2 into g of x plus 1. So you have to find the range of h of x. And what is that h of x? That is not in our picture. We know only f of x and g of x, okay, but there is a new function h of x, and they are saying that h of x is 2g of x, 2 times g of x plus 1, and the question is what is the range of this h of x, okay. So now try to understand like this. For g of x, what is the range? What is the meaning of range? Possible y values. Am I right? Okay. So what about g of x? What is the range? This black one is g of x. The black graph is g of x, or cos x minus 30 graph. Okay. So here what is the range? What is the minimum value? -1. Okay. And what is the maximum value of g of x? +1. That means for this g of x graph, the range is from -1 to 1. Do you understand? Okay, for this g of x graph. But our question is not to write the range of g of x. Our question is to write the range of h of x. Am I right? Okay. So to find the range of h of x, it is very easy to find. So what is this one? 2 times g of x. So you just multiply this one with 2. Okay. Then +1. Okay. It's easy to find. Okay. So look at this one. 2 times -1, -2. Am I right? 2 times -1, -2. -2 plus 1. -2 plus 1 is -1. Okay. So look at this one. Multiplication. 2 times -1 is -2. That -2 plus 1. That is -1. Then 2 times 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. So it means that the range of h of x is -1 to 3. Okay. So 2 times -1, -2. -2 plus 1 is -1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So the range of h of x is -1 plus comma 3. That is the range. So, or you can write y is an element of -1 to 3. Okay. Or some schools, maybe in your school you studied like this to write the range, that is -1 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 3. That is also same. Okay. Y is an element of between these two values. Okay. Okay. So that is question number 6.5. Now we have to move to question number 7. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Question number 7. Question number 7. What is that question? Points L, M and N are in the same horizontal plane. KL is a vertical tower, etc., etc. Okay, first let me draw that diagram, then from there I will explain the remaining things. Okay, so this is I try to draw a rough graph there. Okay, so based on that one we have to answer the remaining question. So what are the given ones? It is given that this length is h, this angle is 90, and also this angle is 90. These two sides are equal in length, that is this is d, so it means that this one is also d. Okay, and this angle is q, and yeah, that's all. This is n, this is m, l, k. Okay, now what is the first question? Determine the size of angle LNM in terms of p. You have to find the size of LNM, angle LNM, that means this angle. You have to find what is that angle. Okay, so how can you find that one? That is question number 7.1. So what is that angle? Here it is given that oh, I forgot to write that one. It is given that this angle is P. Am I right? Okay, and also these two sides are equal. So in a triangle, you know, in Euclidean geometry you studied, if these two sides are equal, then the opposite angles are also equal. This angle and this angle are also equal. So now look at this triangle LNM. This one LNM triangle. These two sides are equal. So it means that these opposite angles are also equal. This angle and this angle are equal. Am I right? So if I draw that triangle here, these two are equal. This is our N, this is L, and this one is M. So if these two sides are equal, means this one and this one angles are equal. So here it is P. So what is this one? That one is also P. What is the reason? Opposite angles of equal sides. In Euclidean geometry studied. Okay, so this is a combination of Euclidean geometry and trigonometry questions. Okay, so here we can write angle LMN, that one is also P. So angle LMN is equal to P. What is the reason? Opposite angles of equal sides. Okay, so that angle is P. So now, therefore, now how can you find this angle? Look at that triangle. These two angles are P and P. So how can you find this angle? 180. Sum of the angles in a triangle is 180. Okay, so now how can you find LNM? Therefore LNM, that means this angle is equal to 180 minus the sum of this one, that is P plus P. So therefore angle LNM is equal to 180 minus P plus P is 2P. So it means that this angle is 180 minus 2P. Okay, so that is the first question, 7.1. Now let's move to the next question, 7.2. Okay, now the next question, 7.2, question number 7.2. What is that question? Prove that LM is equal to D sine 2P divided by sine P. So what do you want to prove? Prove that LM is equal to, you have to prove that LM is equal to D into sine 2P divided by sine P. You have to prove that LM is D into sine 2P divided by sine P. Okay, so how can we prove that one? So here LM, that is this one, sine 2P, 2P, 180 minus 2P is here, then P is here. So it means that they are taking the same triangle, this LNM. Okay, so let me start with that LNM. In triangle LNM, okay, so and also sine is there, so that means somehow they used a sine rule. Okay, so how can you apply that sine rule? So here okay, this is our N, this is 180 minus 2P, this is P, this one is also P, this is L, M, and this one is D, this one is also D. Okay, so we have to show that LM, so I am going to apply sine rule. So LM divided by sine of, do you remember sine rule? Okay, you have to know that one. Okay, so LM divided by sine of the opposite angle, that is 180 minus 2P is equal to, now like let's take both are the same thing. Okay, you can take any angle, both the sides and angle are the same, so doesn't matter. So let me say MN. Okay, so MN is what? MN is D, so I can write directly D divided by what is the opposite angle? Angle P. Okay, so it is sine of P. So it means that I applied the sine rule here. Okay, on in this triangle, in triangle L and M. So guys, listen here. If you want to understand, those who didn't understand this one, you have to study what is the sine rule and how can you apply sine rule. Okay, so in that class lessons I taught this sine rule very clearly. Okay, so first you have to watch that one. Okay, then only you can watch this revision, the application of sine rule. Okay, you will understand. Okay, so now from here, what is LM? you have to cross multiply this one, this lm, this one will go come here, cross multiplication. Okay, so it is d times sine of 180 minus 2p divided by this sine p. So it means that what I did is I cross multiply this one to that side. Okay, then everything I leave this d there, sine p there. Okay, so instead of cross multiplying like this, you can cross multiply only this one to that side. You can do like that. Okay, okay, so 180 minus 2p, 180, that is a reduction formula. 180 minus means which quadrant is that? 180 minus means second quadrant. Second quadrant, sign is positive. Am I right? Here what? Sign. So it is positive. And if it is based on 180 or 360 horizontal line, no change. Okay. So it means that Lm is equal to d into 180 minus second quadrant. Second quadrant sign is positive. Here what? Sign. So it is positive. Then no change. That means sine 2p divided by sine p. But what we want to prove? Oh, that is what we want to prove. D into, okay, let me write it. This is positive. So let me write it once more. Lm is equal to d into sine 2p divided by sine p. So that is question number 7.2. Okay. Now let's go to the next question, question number 7.3. Okay, now let's go to the next question, question number 7.3. What is that one? Hence show that, that means there is some connection with the previous question. Okay, then hence show that h is equal to, now in this question we have to show that h is equal to 2d cos p tan q, cos p tan q. So here tan q, q means this angle, is it not so? Oh, okay, q is this small angle, not the whole angle. Okay, q is this angle. So that angle q is on this triangle. Am I right? Tan q, that means that is on this triangle KLM, this angle q. Okay, so don't think that q is the whole angle. Whole angle is p. Okay, so this small angle is in triangle KLM, and here you can see that tan q, that means they took a tan function there. Okay, so now let's start with that one. In triangle, which triangle? KLM. So in triangle KLM, what is tan q? Tan means opposite side by adjacent side. Okay, so based on this angle, what is opposite side? H. And what is adjacent side? Lm. Because this is 90 degree, that means this one is the hypotenuse. Am I right? Okay, so opposite side, that is H, divided by adjacent side. Adjacent side is Lm. So divided by Lm. So from here you have to show that H is equal to, so from here what is H? H is equal to, you cross multiply this one. Okay, so it is Lm into tan q. This Lm multiply with this one, tan q. Okay, but we know that Lm, that is why in this question it is written hence show that. That means we can use the previous one. Previous question we already proved that Lm is this one. So instead of that, this Lm, we can substitute that one. Am I right? Okay, so therefore H is equal to Lm. Lm, I am going to substitute that one, d into sine 2p divided by sine p into tan q. But still you can see that we want to prove a 2d cos p tan q. Here there is no cos. So what we can do? Here this one is a double angle. We know the expansion of that one. What is the expansion? 2 sine p cos p. Am I right? So H is equal to d into, expand this one. How can you expand? 2 sine p cos p. Then this tan q. the whole divided by sine p. So here you can see sine p and sine p you can cancel. So what is remaining? H is equal to 2d. D into 2 is 2d. 2d cos p tan q. Is it not that what we want to prove? 2d cos p tan q. That is what we want to prove. Okay. So that is question number 7.3. So guys, that's the end of September 2020 Eastern Cape trigonometry questions. Okay. So I hope you understand clearly, you enjoyed this lesson. So keep on watching, try to match maximum number of questions and practice. Okay. So thank you for watching. See you on the next lesson. Thank you. Bye.